In my last video, I told you that a trademark claim had taken down my Etsy shop. A trademark a court has since thrown out, and a trademark that did not exist when I created the listing. And the question I got the most was some version of, okay, but how would I even know if there was trademark? So today I'm going to show you exactly how to look up a trademark before you use a phrase in your shop, how to read what you find, and the detail on that record that almost everybody skims past. It's free and it only takes about 10 minutes. But I want to be straight with you about something first, because I'd rather be honest with you than sell you a fix that isn't one. This check would not have saved my shop. The trademark was registered 18 months after I had posted the listing in my store. There was simply nothing to find when I created it. So if you're hoping that a 10-minute trademark search makes your shop completely bulletproof, it doesn't. And I'll tell you what actually does at the end of this video. But learning how to read these records is exactly how I eventually learned that the claim against me was just wrong. So stay with me, because this skill works in both directions. Here's why I want you to actually do this and not just sit there and nod along. Almost every Etsy seller that I talk to has put a phrase in their title without ever checking it for a trademark. Not because they're careless, but because they simply don't realize that this is a thing. You find a trending theme, you see 40 other shops using the same words, and you reasonably assume that if everybody's doing it, it must be fine. But that assumption is exactly where shops die. The everybody was doing it excuse has never saved anybody. And here's the thing that should genuinely worry you. When a trademark claim came in against my shop, Etsy didn't warn me. They didn't ask me to remove the item. They removed the listing, issued a strike, and gave me no way to respond. There is no counter notice process for a trademark claim on Etsy. None. So the only protection you have is the protection that you built ahead of time. Think about how a trending party theme moves. A phrase catches on, and within a few months, there's hundreds, if not thousands of people using it. Everybody assumes it's just a saying, public property, free for all to use. Meanwhile, one person is quietly filing paperwork on it. 9 months later, that registration goes through, and now that phrase belongs to someone. Everyone else is still cheerfully typing it into their titles, completely unaware that anything has changed, because nothing tells you. There's no alert, there's no banner. The first time any seller usually hears about it is after a takedown. It's like building a deck in your backyard without ever looking at where the property line is. Nothing stops you while you're building it. The problem shows up later. And by then, the deck has already been built. So let's go find the property line. Quick thing before I walk you through it. I turned this entire process into a free trademark checklist. The same steps we're about to go through on one page. So you can run it on every listing without needing to come back and rewatch this video. It's linked below. Go grab it and then follow along with me, because you're going to want to do this more than once. Okay, here's the process. I'm going to share my screen with you for a minute. Step 1, go to the right tool. The site is tmsearch.uspto.gov. And this matters more than it sounds like it should, because for 20 years, the tool everybody used was called TESS, T-E-S-S, and TESS was retired at the end of 2023. So if you go searching for a trademark tutorial, you will absolutely find videos walking you through screens that just don't exist anymore. It's free and you don't need an account. So here we go. Step 2, search your exact phrase. Just type it in. I'm going to use one silly goose. If you're using a theme name, a slogan, a character name, anything that reads like a brand, that's what you check. And check the words in the titles, not just your shop name. That's the part some people seem to miss. Your shop name is not the only thing that can get you in trouble. Step 3, look at whether it's live or dead. Every record has a status. You can see here, some are green, some are red. Dead means the registration has already lapsed or was abandoned, and the dead mark isn't holding a claim over you. Live means it's active. Don't stop at I found something and panic though. A good chunk of what you're going to find here will be dead. Now, step 4, check the class. This is the one people skip. Trademarks are registered in categories for specific goods and services, not for the whole English language. Somebody can own a phrase for, say, dog food, and that has nothing to do with your party printable. So read the goods and service description and ask whether it actually overlaps with what you sell. Sometimes it doesn't, and you can stop worrying. For example, if One Silly Goose is registered for just baby bibs, I don't need to worry about using that on a party invitation. Okay, moving on. Step 5, and I really want you to pay attention here. Look at the dates. Every record shows a filing date, a registration date, and a first use in commerce date. Those dates tell a story, and they tell you when this thing became enforceable and how long the owner has actually been using it. This is the exact detail that proved the claim against me was wrong because my listing was live and selling for a year and a half before that registration ever existed. Nobody at Etsy looked at those dates though. I had to. Okay, step 6, search the variations. The plurals, the misspellings, words that sound the same but are spelled differently. The standard isn't whether you typed it identically, it's whether a buyer could be confused. So one important caveat, a clean search is good news, but not a guarantee. Unregistered marks can still carry rights based on actual use, and this database only covers the United States. I'm a seller, not a lawyer. If you find something that looks like a real conflict on a product that's actually making you money, that's a conversation you might want to have with an attorney. And if you do find a live mark covering what you sell, the move is boring, but it works. Pull the phrase out of your titles, your tags, and your description, rename the design, re-upload it. Yes, you might lose the listing history, and that stings, but it stings a whole lot less than losing your shop. Okay, now what I promised you at the start. Checking once is just not enough. My shop is proof of that. I could have ran this exact search when I put up my listing, and I would have gotten a completely clean result. And I still would have lost everything 18 months later because the trademark wasn't registered yet. The listing didn't change. It was the law around it that did. So the real answer here is not to check, it's to monitor. Your listings really need to be rechecked on a consistent schedule because the ground underneath them is just going to keep moving. When I had my shop, I had thousands of listings. I think it was upwards of 6,000 listings. I physically couldn't do these checks by hand regularly. It just wasn't possible. So I didn't, and that's exactly how this happened. But that's changed now. There are tools that weren't available when I was running my shop. And it's one of the first things that I'm building in my rebuild. If you want to see how I did it, get on that list for the checklist and you'll be the first to hear about it. Bottom line, 10 minutes of time is the difference between having to change a listing and getting the email that results in losing 4 years of hard work. I found that out the expensive way, but you don't have to. Subscribe if you want to follow the rebuild, and I'll see you in the next one.